Yeah, that's very true.
It's just a million different factors that they would have to focus on. I mean, StarCraft
Billions.
2, yeah.
Let's not sugarcoat it. Billions. Literally billions.
Mhm.
StarCraft 2, the main thing they focused on in development was balance because they had to have a balanced product to bring to the world. They'll be working on balance for StarCraft 2 until the end of time, but that's because that's exactly what that game needs. I mean, it's player versus player.
That's it. That's the purpose
That's
of
what
it.
StarCraft is. That is not what Diablo 3 is, nor would I want it to be.
Amen.
In a world without, I don't know. Basically, Diablo its roots is single player. That's Diablo. Its roots is single player. It's not meant to even really. You don't have to play online. I mean, StarCraft has a campaign. It's like StarCraft. It's like Battlefield. It's like those games. They have a single player, but really their purpose is multiplayer. Diablo's opposite. You can play multiplayer, but really it's not about that. It's about co-op.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, just compare Diablo 1 single player versus Diablo 1, PvP. Then compare StarCraft 1 single player versus StarCraft 1 PvP. And you know what? StarCraft would suck single player only. It wouldn't even really be worth playing. But by contrast, Diablo 1.
Let's not go that far.
Hey.
I kind of enjoyed single player.
I love single player.
Be quiet,
I'm
Dan.
good at it. I've got my Kerrigan portrait. You leave my...
The start single player was good, but his points stand.
Yeah. It wouldn't have the staying power.
It would be half the price it is at purchase.
Yeah, I mean, you can just tell in the development process because Diablo 1 PvP just looks like something they slapped on at the very last second. They're like, okay, you can unally each other. Go.
Yeah, well, yeah, especially since all of your gear drops when you die. Yeah, let's have some PvP in here. Why not? Yeah, sure.
Pop. What happened to all my stuff?
No balance whatsoever.
It's like
there'll be a gentleman's agreement. They'll just take the ear and some of your gold and then leave the rest for you to pick up again.
There's so many gentlemen on the internet.
Oh, okay. Now, there's another aspect of this. Like, there's another post that was put, and it basically said the game should be balanced around 1v1. So Class A shouldn't be able to kill Class B just because that's what the class is meant to. Okay. This right here is a profound misunderstanding of how RPGs work, period. This guy I'm sorry, that's what... Have you played an RPG before?
His first. He's
coming
first person shoot 'em up, and he's just decided to give RPGs a try.
He took a break from Call of Duty to write that.
Pretty much. Okay, so here's the deal, buddy. Generally, you'll have a stealthy class who's really good at taking out wizard class. You have a wizard class that's really good at kiting around melee classes. You have a range class who's just a douchebag to everyone, but the stealthy class usually takes them out. And then you have an armor class that's pretty much good against other melee classes, and once in a while the caster classes. Okay? And that's generally your archetype circle, okay? You look at that and wow. Rogues eat casters, casters eat, I don't know, whatever, warriors, I don't know, it depends on when you're talking about in the game. Warriors eat rogues, rogues eat hunters, hunters eat everything else, I don't know. You always have a class that is better against another class just because that's the way they work. That's just how they are. And no, they will not balance it around 1v1. But nope. I will emphasize that I think that the Diablo PvP will be very competitive and that it'll actually be a lot of fun. And they will do balancing for it because they can. I mean, there will be like was in the BlizzCon demo, there were certain abilities that worked different in PvP, and that will happen. They'll be like, all right, well, the PvE version of this does this, the PvP, yeah. I mean, that'll happen. They're not completely ignoring PvP. They just won't bring it to the level of, like, international esports competition.
And I think that's really the main misunderstanding here is just how demanding and rigid and razor sharp the balancing must be for not just competitive PvP, but pro PvP. You can have things reasonably balanced and have fun PvP, and that's difficult but not unmanageable. But it needs to be just so precise and so solid to really qualify at those higher tiers. And I think it's just that so many people don't really have a concept of what that means and what that needs to look like.
And
a lot of math.
That actually brings me to my next point, is that all of these people complaining about it, I absolutely guarantee that 99% of them would never, even if it was balanced for pro esports, 99% of them would never experience that. I guarantee they're not even good enough to do that. Okay, so like you look at StarCraft 2, and a lot of the complaints, not all, but a lot of the complaints that people have about balance are from people in Bronze League. Okay, you don't know what you're talking about.
They're just mad because
leave me alone.
I'm such a noob. Balance so it's easier for me.
Well, yeah, it's like Banshees own me every time nerf Banshees. Okay, well, you just don't know how to play. And see, okay, anyways, but the point is that these people that are complaining about it and saying that it should be balanced for 1v1, even if it was, you would probably not even notice it, because there'd be some guy's skill that would just completely obliterate you. Okay,
and you'd be like, oh, this is so imbalanced.
Like, for example, I bet there's probably people who, like, if you take someone who's never played Diablo 2 before, I bet you I could take Sorceress and kill them with, like the first one, whatever it is, the little ice
charge bolt,
whatever.
Ken,
you know,
it's the reason why I don't play StarCraft against you anymore. You know, Ken is fairly decent at. Okay, he's pretty good at StarCraft.
Okay.
I am not. You know, I'm good at the single player because it's more like a puzzle. You know, I'm playing against the AI, and I'm good in that realm. But once the competition comes into it, I choke. And even if I'm using, you know, it could be the most balanced game in the world, or it could be horrifically unbalanced. And I'm never really going to know, because even if I was using a broken combo, you know, even if I was 4-gating Ken, he'd probably still win.
Mm-hmm. With just Marines.
Yeah. You know.
No, you guys laugh. I've been doing that lately. I wanted to see.
I could 6-pool you. And
I wanted to see how many games I could win by just doing Marines. 3-3 Marines. Okay, here's the funny thing. They rip through roaches. They rip through stalkers. They do really well against Thors. They'll rip up Colossus. They'll rip up Void Rays. Size Storm's pretty much the only thing that does well.
Damn, dude.
But like things that hard counter them. Oh yeah, they rip up Banelings. It's so funny. They just destroy Banelings.
No doubt.
Anyways. So back to the point is, balance only comes into play when you're at the top level of skill, and skill level is even, and then you can eliminate skill from it and say, okay, that's imbalanced because they're at the equal skill level, they're at the top skill level. Skill's not going to get any better. Their micro is immaculate. Their macro's perfect. You know, but they're still going to lose. In that kind of situation, you would want like a stalemate, or the person who makes more mistakes loses. But imbalance comes into play at that level. So at the level of, I'm guaranteeing the skill that most of these people are complaining at, they wouldn't even notice if it was balanced or not. So don't even ask for it to be balanced for esports, because you'll never notice. Like, just stop complaining about it. You'll love the PvP. It'll be competitive. It'll be great. You'll never even know it's not balanced, because you'll just get chomped by people with better skill. So
point, set, match. Done and done. That was awesome.
Agreed.
All right, so Negative Nancy is taken care of.
Yeah.
Next up, we got an interesting topic from the forums from Krashinibon. Will we get any new content outside of expansions other than after the game is released? So, DLC type stuff.
Well, no, there won't be DLC. I could see them patching extra stuff in.
Like a new area or a new monster or something.
I mean, they did that with Diablo 2, but that was kind of like, I don't know, the game was pretty much dead, and they're just trying to give the paddles to it.
Right.
I don't see, like, it depends on what you mean by new content. I don't see, like, new areas coming out, but, like, I could see, like, different areas being changed or increased. Like, you know, like I don't know, the Bloodmore now has an extra dungeon in it kind of thing. I don't know.